Hello, my name is Stephen Thomas, and welcome. If you're like me, you might find yourself managing many different virtual machines inside of Azure. I also find myself constantly creating new virtual machines to test out new software or run demos that I don't want to do on my main development environments. Now keep in mind that a 127 gigabyte standard edition OS disk costs you about $10 a month. If you're running a premium disk, that could cost you $20 a month. So if you're sitting on 10 or so virtual machines, those costs can really add up. In addition to that, I find myself spending a lot of time reconfiguring each new virtual machine environment to be exactly the way I like it. Like, why in the heck is hide known file extensions enabled by default? Now, what if I could spin up a new virtual machine that was exactly the way I want it? And better yet, make changes to that base model virtual machine quickly and easily anytime I want it. I have worked through a process to do just that. It uses Azure Snapshots, Azure Disks, and switching OS disks on the core virtual machine in order to accomplish this. Let's walk through this process and see how I can save you time and money.
Okay, let's jump in and take a look at this process I've created. So essentially what we do here is we create a base VM. This is called VM dev/VS Code. And this is just created as a standard virtual machine, created a standard OS disk. And again, I use the standard, not the premium OS disk. And once this was created, I went in and configured this virtual machine exactly as I like it. So I installed VS Code, I installed all the extensions that I wanted for a base install. So I didn't install extensions like Logic apps that I might not always want on every VM that I would create. So I install like the base ones, like Azure and stuff like that. I installed Notepad++, and I also went in and configured Windows to be exactly the way I wanted. So things like hide file extensions is now disabled, so I can see all my file extensions, and a couple other tweaks that I always set on every virtual machine that I always create. Now, once that is done, I stopped the virtual machine, and you come under here under Disks. I click on Disks. And here's the name of the OS disk that was automatically created for me. Again, like you can see here, it's standard edition of a disk. So that's only the $10 a month disk. And you click on that disk and you come create snapshot. I'm going to create a snapshot of this. I'm going to give it a name, VS Code, and then I give it a date. So it's 08/09/25. And I want to do a snapshot of this, and then come down here and I want to make sure the snapshot type is going to be standard HD. All next to this, encryption, not going to mess with that, nothing to do with networking or advanced or tags. So simply going to do review and create. Now it takes just a moment to create this. And while that runs, so once we have this snapshot created, this will be the main snapshot I'll use to create disks off of this snapshot when I want to create a new VM. So snapshot created, I got to go to the resource. Here's my resource, the snapshot, the VS Code, given the date here. Now, when I want to provision a new virtual machine from this, you have a couple options. So first I want to create a new disk from this snapshot. And then from there you can follow through with different options. So for right now, I'm going to do create disk. And I'm going to give it a disk name. So I usually call it VS Code. And then when I'm using it for like an AI demo and availability zone, I don't need any availability zone for that. And here's where I want to now bump it up to a premium disk. So this is just going to be a short-lived demo, for example, not something that I'm going to want to persist for days or weeks or months. I'm going to change size, come up here to storage type, change it to premium disk, and go ahead and say OK. And go to review and create. And go ahead and create this disk. So now I'm essentially upgrading that disk, that base VM disk, to a premium disk. It's going to perform much better in my testing on my virtual machine. And then we have some options once this disk is created. It takes it just a moment here. And once that's done, we're going to go to this resource. Now, if I wanted to create a brand new virtual machine off of this disk, I could definitely do that here. I simply go to Create VM. This would be great if I wanted to change sizes of the virtual machine, or if I wanted to do some other networking testing, or wanted to keep this virtual machine isolated from other components. If I wanted this to live for a month or two, I would go ahead and create a new virtual machine for that. That would give me a new public IP and give me a new connection details to that virtual machine. In this case, I want to leverage my existing virtual machine and just swap out the OS disks. Now, the benefits of this is I keep all the RDP connections exactly the same, so I follow the same links, and everything's going to be just like it's the exact same virtual machine. So to do that, I'm going to jump back to my virtual machines. And here I'm back to my virtual machine for my VS Code that we were talking about. And I'm going to simply go to disks. Now here under disks, I can click swap OS disks, and I'll be able to see all the available disks I have. Now here's that new disk I created, the VS Code AI demo disk. That is the premium disk. I'm just going to select that, and it wants me to confirm that I want to swap that OS disk. I'm going to say OK. And just like that, it's going to swap that OS disk. So now I can go ahead and spin up this VM, and everything on this VM is going to behave just like it did before, all my same links and everything like that. Same login credentials, everything. It's just a new instance of that same disk, which is fantastic. The plus side now, it is that premium disk, so it is going to perform much better for you. Now, if I want to switch this back, so let's say I wanted to make changes to that base image again, or I was done with this disk here, I simply go swap OS disk, and I can just switch back to that original disk. Now, if you don't see that original disk here, sometimes you have to start that VM before it detects that you've actually switched your disks. So if for whatever reason you don't see original disks here, make sure you have at least started that VM before you switch back into here. And I can simply select this, and just like that, I'm back to where I would be at on my core base image for this virtual machine. So this is the process that I've kind of came up with in order to basically create a base image of a virtual machine and be able to spin up instances of that very quickly in order to run demos and test scenarios. Please comment below and let me know if you have a better process or what process you found that works well for you working with virtual machines inside of Azure, and I'd love to hear your feedback on that. Thanks for watching this demo, and don't forget to like and subscribe.